Posted by you/therelalpha_. Okay, so boom, my husband and I attended a wedding. It was his kind of cousin/niece's wedding. I'm not sure how to describe the relationship, but they were close growing up. The wedding was a bit unique. There was a brunch before the actual ceremony with the bride and groom. Then, for about an hour, the wedding party left to get ready while all the guests were still at brunch, and then the actual ceremony and the real reception was supposed to happen. I thought everything was normal. At the brunch, the couple looked happy and excited, and maybe a little nervous. My husband had told me there had been a little drama leading up to the wedding because the groom's family insisted that the groom's ex should attend the wedding because they have a good relationship. The ex is an EMT, and she apparently saved the mother-in-law's life once. The bride didn't want the ex to attend, but she caved in. At the actual ceremony, as you might have guessed from the title, the bride never showed. After a few minutes of awkward silence with the music playing as we waited for the bride's father came and told everyone she left. The groom was crying, the mother-in-law was screaming, it was such a huge mess. At the reception, they basically just told people to take to-go boxes of food so it didn't go to waste. Since a lot of family was in town for the wedding, the bride's side of the family was hosting a reunion. At the reunion, the bride said the reason she left the groom at the altar was because, at the brunch, the ex told her that she slept with the groom and apparently showed the bride a smash tape she made with him. The bride was distraught and left because she didn't want to marry a cheater. The groom's side of the family was slandering the bride on every social media platform possible. So the bride's side decided to fire back, publicly accusing the groom of cheating on her, and it was just a big mess. The groom came to the bride's house to try and clear things up. Apparently, the groom didn't actually cheat on the bride. The smash tape was from years and years ago. The groom's appearance just hadn't changed that much, so the bride believed the ex when she said it was recent. The ex was just trying to break them up. She confessed to it too. To my surprise, instead of everyone being angry at the ex, everyone turned on the bride. Her family was pissed at her for wasting money, being gullible, and not letting the groom defend himself first. Everyone was yelling at her, and I thought it was crazy, so I spoke up in her defense. I would have believed it too if there was video evidence, plus the fact that she was practically forced into allowing the ex to attend their wedding. Now the whole family is against the bride and me, and it's so awkward. Everyone is acting cold. My husband is upset because he now feels like if someone accused him of cheating on me, I'd just take their word for it, but I feel that's completely unfair. Up in the comments. What happened to the bride was not just a random stranger saying he cheated on her. His ex, who the whole family vouches for, showed her a literal smash tape of herself and the groom just half an hour before the bride was supposed to walk down the aisle. If someone told me my husband cheated on me on a random day, I would confront him, and I'm sure the bride would have done the same in a different situation. But 30 minutes before you're supposed to walk down the aisle with video proof? That's a very unique situation. Update 1. Okay, so my husband came back to the hotel room, and I showed him the post because he knows I like using Reddit. I mentioned a specific comment to him where one Redditor asked how we were sure the tape was old and that the groom and the ex weren't just covering up their affair by lying and saying it was old. I told my husband, and at first, he laughed, but then he started to think about the whole situation. While my husband was still at the bride's house trying to help with the situation after I left, the groom had been groveling to the bride. Even though he was exonerated by the ex admitting it was fake, he was still very apologetic, which threw my husband off a bit. Even though the groom maintained he didn't cheat, instead of being angry about being left at the altar and publicly humiliated, he seemed to just want his wife to forgive him. I thought this would be normal because the groom probably feels horrible about allowing the ex to ruin the day and hurt his wife like that, but my husband said it was unusual behavior for the groom. Apparently, the groom is the high horse type and he would never apologize for a mistake that wasn't his. My husband knows the groom better than I do, so he thinks it's plausible that the groom did cheat based on the way he's acting. However, he's not going to bring it up because of how high tensions are, and it might just make things worse. I also explained how and why I felt like my husband was being unfair to me by saying he thinks I'd believe anyone who accused him of cheating on me. He apologized and told me he was just stressed out earlier and feels like we wasted money on this trip and haven't seen our kid for days over a wedding that got blown up over a lie. The bride texted me, thanking me for defending her. Most of the slandering social media posts were taken down. The ex posted on social media, playing the victim. Well, not really, but she's posting heartbreaking stuff and those depressing Bart Simpson memes. The groom's mother showed up at the bride's house after I left and was threatening to burn the place down because she was mad that the bride humiliated her son over a lie. It was such a huge wedding with many of his co-workers and others there, so she's completely embarrassed. I feel like I'm missing something, but I'm tired, and it's been a long day. Edit. A few people are saying I should show this post to the bride, but I'm a bit scared she won't react well to me putting her business online because I don't know her that well. At the same time, I feel like she might appreciate that most people are on her side. However, I don't really want her to see my conspiracy theory about how the groom might have actually cheated on her because there's no actual proof. Should I show this to her? Update 2. Okay, so I decided to send this to the bride. I also told my mother-in-law, who I'm super close with, what was going on. I'll start with the bride first. As I predicted, she was a little mad that I put her business online. I called her, and we made small talk for a couple of minutes, avoiding the elephant in the room. Then I told her I posted about this on Reddit. I sent her the link while we were on the call. She didn't yell or anything, but she told me I shouldn't have done that. I assured her I didn't use any names or defining descriptions, and she hung up the phone. A few minutes later, she called me back and told me she scrolled through the comments and stuff, and it made her feel a bit better. Then she apologized for snapping at me, but I don't feel like she did. She told me that she felt like a lot of the comments were blowing things out of proportion when it comes to how you guys speak of the mother-in-law and the groom. She said her mother-in-law isn't evil like the post made her out to be. She also said she understands why her mother-in-law insisted on the ex being at the wedding and that when her mother-in-law threatened to burn down the house, she wasn't being serious and it was taken out of context. When I asked her if she was still going to marry the groom, she just kept saying I don't know, and she sounded sad, so I dropped it. She also told me she doesn't think the groom cheated on her and that my husband just has a bad perception of the groom because he has a hard shell to crack. After we hung up, my husband and I called his mother to update her on what's happening because she couldn't make it to the wedding. My husband's mother told us that the ex never really saved the mother-in-law's life. Basically, all she did was inject her with an EpiPen for a mild allergy. His mom feels like saying she saved her life was just for dramatics to guilt the bride into letting the ex attend the wedding. His mom also feels like the bride's mother-in-law had nothing to do with the ex sabotaging the wedding. She said that the bride's mother-in-law isn't an idiot, and even if she did love the ex that much, she would never purposely ruin her son's wedding because she's one of those boy moms. So yeah, I guess that's all for now.